Scorpio Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need? Shadow read for this full moon to new moon, January into February 2021. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mao for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, now on Patreon, Drawing the Circle. Link in the description box, the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi, it's shadow read time. If you're new to the channel, a 7-card draw is just one card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific astrological timeline, in this case a waning moon from full to new. And let's talk about that briefly. The full moon on Monday, January 17th, 6:48 p.m. It's full in Cancer, but it goes void, of course, at the same time, 6:48 p.m. Eastern Time. I am in New York. So if you're going to work your waxing moon side of the full, grab it then, because then it goes void. And then we're looking at the 14-day waning moon cycle, letting go, releasing, purifying, forgiving, surrendering, shadow work, the whole 9, or maybe just some of it, depending. It is a general read. And that is the new moon on Tuesday, February 1st, which is also Imbolc, Candlemas, the second spoke in the pagan wheel of the year. So that's pretty auspicious. A new moon on Imbolc is pretty cool. And that is at 12:45 a.m. And of course it is a new moon in Aquarius. Sun-Moon conjunction makes a new moon. Okay? So let's get up in this gig. It is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I've been saying as of late that 5 out of 7 hitting for you. That's pretty good for a general read. So check your other signs to see if you get other puzzle pieces to the certain situation you want to know about. But certainly, we have other situations going on in our lives. Your sun sign might get a very, very different situation than your moon sign, etc. Other than that, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I'll do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can from the divine through these pieces of cardboard and my intuitive skills for the well-being of all. Let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. And Mercury is retrograde. May the odds be in your favor. Here we go. As I call upon the collective pantheons, there we go. I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, general assembly, the higher selves of all involved. We'll see if that one pops up again. 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, the spirit animals and totems, as well as the pantheon of all pantheons for the Scorpio Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading. What is their dominant 8th chakra archetype hovering over their head, really changing the story or whatever story they find themselves in. The shadow work from lead to gold. This can be them. This can be somebody else. So what's shifting, what they attract and repel from their 8th chakra this full to new? The God archetype. Why do I feel like this came up before? Because I think it did. Yeah, Leo got this. Fix fire to fix water. Now, a masculine family archetype. There are 9 different families, and the divine family is one of them, but the God falls into the masculine family. And it's interesting, the card that hit the table, what I said, we'll see if that comes back around, was the goddess. Again, not the divine family, the feminine family. So we're looking at divine masculine, divine feminine here, certainly. The shadow is what the shadow work is about. Again, this might not be you. This might be somebody you're dealing with, and it is not gender specific. I can't drive that home enough. You don't know how many men I know that have that goddess energy and how many women I know that have the God energy. Well, you know, I'm a pagan. I'm an equal opportunity witch. I don't care. We're all souls. You know, gender's a body thing. You be authentic to your soul. The shadow attribute, despotism and cruelty, much. Using power to control people. Now, I will say, Scorpios, you guys have a lot of hidden power, a lot of secrets, so this need not necessarily be hit them over the head with, you know, a blunt object, kind of controlling and manipulating people, but maybe, you know, if you know things about them, using that kind of power. Power has many different flavors. The light attribute that you're shooting for here, benevolence and compassion. Recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. As I said, we're all immortal souls. We're all the eternal force appearing in different forms here. So that's sort of off to a very powerful start, I would think. But remember, if you're thinking, well, I'm female, so I can't be a god, I would be a goddess. We're thinking symbolically, right? More masculine energy, what comes out of you, than feminine, what you draw into you, more yang than yin. Let's look at the next 4 chakras down. The crown, the third eye, the throat, and the heart. This is the internal world, the feminine energy. That's why we're using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. And this is really where the shadow work goes down usually. You know, mental, emotional, physical, but the throat chakra choice to do it. So let's see what's going on inside y'all. Please take a nice deep breath. Particularly with a God archetype. Even if you're dealing with someone who has the God archetype in the shadow, it takes a lot. It's better to know what your part of it is. As I call to my goddesses of water, the sign of Scorpio and powers of the West, please, 1 card for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. Heart, throat, third eye, crown, internal, feminine energy, dealing with the God in the 8th chakra, and we lovely, oh, I'm so glad to see this card, the 6 of Cups. Yes, the 6 of Cups can certainly be a nostalgia, can be somebody coming back into your life, except this is heart, throat, third eye, crown. This is inside of you. The key word written here is compassion on the bottom, but 6s are numerological balance number. It is the balance number, right? So with the word compassion here and the word compassion here, I won't call it a full-blown double whammy, but I'll say if this is you, you are bringing yourself into the balance to not just be self-compassionate or selfish compassion or selfless compassion. You've brought it into a balance. That's what's going to give somebody a deeper empathy and understanding when they know their own pain and have compassion for themselves, that they can then share that with another. And here we see 6 women on a beach, right? The waves ebbing and flowing as they will. 5 of them laying hands upon the other to help them heal in compassion. Well, it is certainly that vibe. It is certainly that maybe being at first compassionate to yourself. You're a water sign. This would speak strongly of heart chakra, emotional power. But since you got the God archetype anyway, according to Carolyn Mace, and it's also in my book, Words of Grace, for the heart chakra, the sacred truth of the heart chakra is love is divine power. And we're looking at, though not a divine family archetype, a God energy in you. That benevolence and that compassion is on the table here, but, you know, it's a little ebb and flow, right? Particularly if you're not giving compassion to yourself. Selfish compassion sounds bad until you realize that's self-care. And there's certain things we can only do for ourselves on the inside. No one can give you the love that you need. That no one can give you the love that only you can give you but you, right? Everybody else, really, that's, well, it may not be the icing, but certainly we're the cake. Sometimes you just got to take the cake. I'm sorry, that was stupid. Last 3 chakras. Lower 3 chakras, the physical world, the masculine aspect of this, the yang force, the external energy. And I would think this would be a pretty good pair to whatever that masculine family archetype is. Remember, this is not about genitals. No. Please take a nice deep breath. No genitals. I call upon my gods. I forgot which gods are about to call upon. I call upon the gods of water, the sign of Scorpio, powers of the West, Scorpio that rules the genitalia. Please, 1 card in clarity for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on in the lower 3 chakras? Their relationships, root chakra, their groups, their tribes, their circles of friends, their families, all of that. One-on-one relationship in the 2nd chakra with other people. It's very Scorpio centered there. Solar plexus, their relationship to themselves, their honor code, their boundaries, what they will, what they want, what they will, what they want, what they do, what they don't. with that God archetype in the 8th, compassion on the inner, which is just such a relief. What does this look like from the outside looking in, inside looking out, but all of that, some of that, this full to new. 3 cups, so water on the inner, water on the outer, and let's face it, the 3 of Cups is certainly a friendly card. A solid foundation, not the balance of water, but a solid foundation. Half of the 6 is 3. Look, I did math, Ma. So, you know, this is a party card. I mean, in the Mythic Tarot that we're using here for the masculine dynamic, we've got the marriage of Eros and Psyche, but they have not seen she hasn't seen his face, because he wants somebody to love him for who he really is, not just that he's the most let's not say the most, one of the most beautiful gods, right? That people fall in love with him just by seeing him. He's a god of erotic love. But 3 of Cups is an emotional bond. It is a good time. It is coming together, if not in gigantic parties, smaller groups of friends. This could be a tribal read. This could be your root chakra, unless really is, and this is a general read. We still got more cards to hit the table. Maybe this is something a little more intimate. Let's keep going. You got your chakras here to help bring them into alignment. The Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn, K-A-H-N. Kubla, Kubla, Ganglis, Madeline, Chaka, Matt. Something only. Kahn. Please take a nice deep breath. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. I know it was only a second for you, but I just saw out of the corner of my eye my cat about to do something. I was like, whoa, stop that right now. Okay. Parenting. It never ends. So, as I said, you got the God in the 8th, 6 of Cups on the inner, 3 of Cups on the outer. This is feeling really good, considering the despotism and cruelty and controlling people that could come from the God archetype on a bad day, right? So my Ascended Masters got a nice shuffle in there while we were waiting just for things to calm down in the house for a moment. Please, what is the perfect healing mantra? Seriously, give us some more clarity. Make this a little bit more specific for the Scorpios this full to new 2021. Sharing shame. Sharing shame is a massive therapeutic card. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. Now here's the thing. That seems like a bit of a womp, but it's a shadow read. So if this compassion involves emotional healing work, bringing yourself into emotional balance, Matt Kahn would say, whatever arises, love that. It's his first book, and it's really, all of his work is pretty much genius in my opinion. But I share the things that work for me. Really, talking to your heart every day, the emotional work. Now I will say, when you share your deepest pain, you give yourself permission to be, and we're going to read from the bookie book. But that need not be to another human being necessarily or right away. You can certainly light a candle. We just did this in the Facebook class that we did on Path of True Love, expressing truth, the rite of confession, right? Doesn't have to be to another person. Light a candle. Tell it to the divine, right? But it does feel like there may be an intimate thing here where there's a discussion where shit gets real, but it takes vulnerability to do that. So with that God archetype, benevolence and compassion, I think if this is you, this could maybe be your relationship to God as divine masculine father, whatever name, culture, tradition, whatever. I'm not really getting that though, but in a general read it is what it is. So let me read you from the bookie book. These aren't very long. We have 3 bookie book readings this time along. I know it's the timey-wimey bookie book. Oh wait, which one is this again? Sharing shame, right? Lovely alliteration with sharing shame. Because it's just too good not to. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be, and who doesn't have deep pain? I mean, really. When shame is shared, cycles of victimhood are permitted to heal as you find the courage to speak your truth. This is very shadow work, and it's Scorpio. I should have known. Scorpio read. Blessed be, though. Since abuse and neglect can only be perpetuated in silence. It is your willingness to step forward and share your life story that helps transform each wound and inspire others to be set free. Our stories, you know, and then there's that kind of toxic take on it. Well, it's just your story. It's just a story. Well, you know, but still, it's worth telling. It's worth sharing in sacred context. You don't have to post it. Sharing your shame on Facebook, on the internet, is probably not what this is talking about. And as a Scorpio, I doubt you would anyway. Even, you know, pick your planets. But this does feel a bit more intimate with a strong touch, though, of that masculine energy. So this feels more like a conversation. Once your shame is shared, you are... I feel you, sweetheart. I had a kitty cat bonking my leg. Once your shame is shared, you're able to honor yourself with the heightened encouragement, worthiness, and validation that you deserve to receive. And sometimes just someone who says, look, we're just going to... If you're a witch, cast circle and sit down with somebody. You're not going to do it directly to eventually do it directly to the divine, however you do you, and just say, look, vow of confidentiality, right? Like the unbreakable vow. Vow of confidentiality. What happens in circle stays in circle, unless, at least for the time ahead, right? This mantra is ideal for revisiting past traumas, expressing your inner child, and finding self-acceptance, because if you really do the reading on inner child work, going back to Bradshaw and others, Homecoming, I believe was the name of his book, way back in the 80s, 90s, I forget, that the inner child is often the one that heard and remembered and still remembers everything that went down, right? The wounded child part. Now, just to put that in there, then you can come from this place of this loving, benevolent, divine masculine. I hate to say father. Father's another archetype in the deck. But that God energy, to not just be benevolent and compassionate with yourself, because if you have, then you know what that pain is like of that child, and know that there's a child like that in every heart. Everyone. And the people who aren't giving that more love, not less, doesn't mean give it love, but don't let it burn down the village, right? Those are the people who usually perpetrate atrocities on the planet. So this is a shadow work read. No shit. All right, let's keep going. 3 more cards left. The Party Turner, known as Whispers of Love Oracle. Sometimes a card will come out of here and it's like, oh, that's what this is about. Others are a bit more general. The voices of the higher selves of all involved, in case there is somebody else, other person or people involved here. Let's see what it's the table. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call to the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, what is the whisper of love for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading? With the God in the 8th chakra, 6 of Cups, compassion on the inner, 3 of Cups, does feel like a good feeling vibe there with one or another person. It's not the 2 of Cups, it's the 3. This could be a friendship deal, or someone that they feel very emotionally comfortable with, sharing shame, giving themselves permission to be. What's the piece of information, inspiration, insight for them this full to new in this shadow work? Have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. Have faith. Have faith. Have faith. Oh, that's interesting. God. I have faith in God. Now again, this is represented usually as, you or another person with this archetype in play, and you can have an archetype for a reason, a season, a lifetime, literally. I've had an archetype come and go in one day. I've had others that have lasted a few years, which is a season, but some I've had since birth and still have to this day and will until they croak. Different soul powers we develop here. So this might be have faith in the process, have faith in sharing shame, have faith in the therapeutic process, the healing path, the person or people that you would be doing this with. Because again, with this 6 of Cups, we got a bunch of people here that could be significant. A support group, right? But certainly, it almost feels like you could lead it if this is you, but this might be someone who is helping you do this as well. Again, a general read. You really check your other signs, particularly if you have anything in Leo, because that's a double whammy for sure. Let's see. The spirit animals and totems. We will get some oracular insight from the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Let's see, because you're right, you're going to do shadow work. You might as well have a spirit animal or a totem along the way. Please take a nice deep breath. Please clarify, beloved pantheons of animal spirits, spirit animals and totems. For the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, who walks with them, who flies with them, who swims with them, who crawls with them, who guards and guides them through this shadow work. God in the 8th, compassion, 6 of Cups on the inner, 3 of Cups on the outer, sharing shame, having faith, this full to new. Hi, Tiger. The tiger. Oh, that's Durga. Durga. Oh, we're going Hindu, ladies and gentlemen. Will, not Grace, Will, card number 34. And this deck is gorgeous. Everything from Blue Angel Publishing I've come across has just been absolutely total gorge. It's gorge. Card number 34. This one's come up before. Will, right? Your willpower, your choices, your decisions. Will you, won't you, do you, don't you? I'll read the first part and the last part. This book is chock full of good info. Too much for a reading, though. Breathe. Card number 34, Tiger. Keyword will, as my throat chakra just went. It's the willpower chakra. Exercise your will and determination in ethical ways, Scorpio. You know, wait a minute. Exercise your will and determination in ethical ways. I think that's talking directly to that God archetype now that I feel that out. Do not place your will over another's. If you're dealing with someone with the God archetype, you do not have control over anyone but yourself. Using power to control people. This is again a lovely little thread. It's making sense. Do not be afraid to be fierce. Especially as a woman. We can ride our healthy anger, but we must eventually transform it into something more useful, which underneath anger is pain, and usually underneath pain is guilt or shame. Everybody does it differently. The magic. Tiger magic is wild and mysterious. It is the energy we can use to counter jealousy. Deadly sin of the third eye, right? Tiger magic is wild and mysterious. It is the energy we can use to counter jealousy, threat, and rage. It is highly protective. It helps us find a more resourceful way to deal with difficult situations and people. Tiger magic is feminine in aspect, and women can use it to help them gain confidence and to find their healthy fierceness. Thorpe. I don't have my drag fan with me right now. I'm really not a drag queen. My drag is witch drag, darling. I don't wear this all the time. Takes a while to get into it too. Not so much the clothes, but I just enchanted my hair, and it's taken on a life of its own. So look, I'm going to go with that, Will, and say that this is really all up to you, is what the tiger is sort of saying to you. You could be fierce in this. You might very well be dealing with a dictatorial person, right? A tyrant, right? A despot. Look up the word despot. It's like home despot. Do you have a despot in your home? A home despot? This might be something like that. However, I have to say, the 2 water cards in your tarot, yeah, it's emotional, but it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel bad. To have faith that this is going to work out, but there needs to be a sharing of shame. Now, if it's not with the person directly, if you are dealing with somebody who's a despot, so to speak, in the shadow, then certainly counselor, friend, but make sure it's confidential. But to understand you have more power here than you realize, if that is the case, right? If someone's really calling the physical shots, the financial shots, you know, I see it happen all the time in all different kinds of relationships, not just romance and marriage and all that. I know I have friends that, yeah, they may come from a lot of money, but their lives are not their own, if you know what I'm saying. So despotism can even be a family thing, right? This is the way we do things, and we'll cut you off. I've never had it done, not this life, but I know many who have, particularly for being other, fill in the blank, right? Gay, bi, transsexual, gender fluid. There's so many more titles now, identifiers now. I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm very clear on that. Came out of the closet in 1984. George Orwell, White Courtesy Telephone. Last card down, The Hidden Blessing from the Blessed Bee deck by Lucy Cavendish. I can never remember the name of this. The mystical Celtic blessing cards to enrich and empower. In that archetype, the lead to gold, there is gold hidden in them, they're leads. A blessing in all of this for you, but let's see what hits the table. The pantheon of all pantheons. Last card down. Both feet on the floor, Mark. There you go. Yeah, it's your will. Figures. The throat shot. I mean, I have not been coughing all day long. Did it in the Libra read today, though. That's odd. Please take a nice deep breath. I was doing breath work in between reads, too. Oh, boy. Here we go. As I call upon the pantheon of all pantheons, all traditions, all lineages, all cultures, even that starseed stuff, if they're into it, please, one card in clarity for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the hidden blessing that they will find during or after the shadow work indicated here with that God in the 8th chakra? Benevolence and compassion is what they're shooting for, that they recognize the eternal within themselves and other, that which does not die, that which comes from outside of time. Eternal does not mean all of time, it means outside of time. 6 of Cups, that compassion on the inner, which we see reflected again in that God card. 3 of Cups, which can also be very much a friendly situation here. This could very easily be an emotional conversation with someone that they feel good about, but about a God vibe somehow, sharing shame, that when they share their deepest pain, they give themselves permission to come into the present moment, what they're feeling about the past. Guilt as I've done wrong, shame as I am wrong, to be heard, to be seen, as well as to free perhaps the other person they're doing with this, or maybe they're the one listening in that more compassionate vibe. Could go either way in a general read, but that they have faith, to trust their faith. They feel the they feel the faith. They feel the faith, but do they trust in that? Well, they can do that. That is going to take an act of will. All of this is going to take an act of will, but there is a protection here for them with that tiger magic that they can call upon to be fierce, regardless of gender, but it is a feminine vibe, the tiger. So please, what's the hidden blessing? Pantheons of the pantheons. This full to new. A blessing on a new venture. Go Team Venture. Brock Sampson, if you're out there. Woof. Card number 20, a blessing on a new venture. We've got an archer here, a female archer, drawing a bow. Archer. 20. Danger zone. Let's look here. Card number 20. Oh, and she got a double picture here. They like her so much. She got a centerfold. My blood has not run cold. Please take a nice deep breath. We're gonna, all right, we do these for real. Here, drawing the circle, we do these blessings for real. Got the torch of Archangel Ariel. You know I ain't fucking around. Breathe. Say it through me, Pantheons. Card number 20, a blessing on a new venture. A blessing to set direction, awaken determination, and establish a path through the unknown adventure ahead. This just happened in the Libra read, same ear, strong ringing. This is about communication. If you're dealing with a Libra here, oh, interesting, they got the mother archetype there somehow. Whew, the blessing on the ancestors. There might be some connective tissue there, obviously not for everybody. Here's the blessing. May you look into the unknown tangle of possibilities ahead and find a pathway through to your goals and dreams. May the arrow of your intention be drawn back with commitment and a strong hand. May your eyes pierce the veils of the unknown, and may the arrow take flight and be sure and true. When you strike the mark, may your hopes be exceeded by the reality, and may you relish with which you began the dream be equaled by... Oh, okay, sorry, I read that wrong inflection. When you strike the mark, may your hopes be exceeded by the reality, and may the relish with which you began the dream be equaled by the joy in bringing to life what were once only imagined possibilities. Let the way between you and your dream's maturity be clear and clean. Gather speed and arc above all the obstacles as it journeys towards the mark. Come on up, Melky. Don't knock shit over. Sorry. As you begin, be certain of yourself, yet open to adaptation. So be open to what you're feeling, but also to adaptation. Be sure but open. May you be clear on what it is you yearn for, yet as flexible as the bow, and may you be as sharp as the arrowhead, so that you may penetrate all that seeks to hold you back and find your mark, landing true and bold and deep. Breathe. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is. It's an intense read. This is shadow work read. Look, this might be a whole new thing you're trying to break into by new moon, but there's some stuff that needs cleaning up here. So benevolence, compassion, let those be your watchwords, particularly if you're dealing with another one. Understand that despotism comes from a weird place, a toxic place, but you are in that place of Six of Cups, emotional balance, compassion on the inner. With this Three of Cups, it does feel friendly. I doubt this is a romantic sexual thing, even though you're a Scorpio, right? But maybe it is, right? And sharing shame. When we share our deepest pain, we give ourselves permission to be, but that takes vulnerability and, of course, an act of will. But have faith, have trust in your faith in this situation that all will go well, because this might either be about a new venture or the first time you've done this in a relationship ever, or with someone in particular, or maybe you are working with a mental health professional, a counselor, a spiritual counselor, but certainly do it in a sacred context with vows of confidentiality is my counsel to you, certainly, and that's the only way I work in readings and all that stuff with people. So did the reading make sense to you? Did you like it? Then please like it. Help other Scorpios find it. This is good guidance to say that the shadow work is available and that there is help and a blessing that they on a new venture somehow. And if you want more of me here on YouTube, by all means, just hit that subscribe note. Hit the notification bell. I'm not on a schedule anymore. I put them out when they're meant to be done. And if you want to come play with me, then come Patreon on Patreon. Link in the description box. My honor, my privilege, my joy, my deep compassion for all of you, my beloved Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this full moon to new moon, January, February 2021. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.